This lesson is going to be looking at the Pythagorean Theorem. The Pythagorean Theorem only works if you're looking at a right triangle. If the triangle you're working with is not a right triangle, it will not work. This is a diagram of a right triangle. You have the right angle in the bottom left corner. The side that is opposite the right angle is called the hypotenuse. That's always the longest side of the right triangle. The two sides that make the right triangle are the legs of the triangle. When you have the Pythagorean theorem, the legs are either sides A and B. It does not matter which side is which, so I'm going to say that's A, that's B, and the hypotenuse is always C. The Pythagorean theorem says that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Or if you take the legs of a triangle, A and B, and you make the square using those side lengths, they would be, if you put them together, equal to the same size of a square as if you took the longest side, the hypotenuse, and made a square out of its side length. So the Pythagorean theorem is used to find missing sides of a triangle. So let's take a look at the picture. The picture, we're missing A. So if you're missing A or B, because those are both the legs, remember it doesn't matter, they're interchangeable, you want to take the numbers that you know and you want to square them. So I know that 12 squared is 144 and 10 squared is 100. Now, where if you still have that book that has the list of the first 20 perfect squares, that would make what you're doing with the Pythagorean theorem and finding square roots and all that kind of stuff, which is upcoming, a lot easier. So you might want to be able to reference that as well. So once we square them, step 2 is to subtract them. So I want to subtract 144 minus 100. I get 44. Then the last step is to take the square root. So my answer is that A is the square root of 44. But that's not a perfect square, because otherwise I could take the square root of it and get an actual answer. So I have to tell me what it's between and what it's closer to. So square root of 44 is between 6 and 7, and it's closer to 7. If you don't remember how to figure that out, please reference the video from the very beginning of the school year that is squares and square roots. Let's take a look this time what we're missing now. This time we're missing side C, the hypotenuse, so it's across from the right angle. It's the longest side. So again, I want to square them. So I have 14 squared, which is 196, and I have 12 squared, which is 144. Because it's the longest side, and it's A squared plus B squared, which is what I just did, I want to add these together. So 6 plus 4 is 10, carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 4 is 14, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So I take the 340, and I have to then take the square root. So C is the square root of 340 units. I don't know what that is, however, but I know that that is between 18 and 19. And it is closer to 18.